Good morning, friends. We in day 3, sessions 3 of just working through the book of Philippians. We aren't working systematically through this book. We're probably not going to get through all the chapters in the time we have in this. Well, we're in session 3 today. We only have 5 sessions. But like I said, the objective is not to teach through this book. The objective is really to challenge our hearts and our minds, like Paul is praying for the Spirit, to really enlighten our thinking, our perceptions, to give us a spirit of wisdom and understanding. And there's just some truths in this book that we so easily miss, and we don't dig into it a bit deeper. And I do believe I want us, the objective is this, just to double click on certain things and how God is working in this book, and how Paul is recognizing that and praising God for that. We saw the first session where Paul's prayer. The second session we saw how Paul is touching on spiritual blessings, how Paul is giving praise to God. We saw a bit of God's will. Is for him, he gets glorified, his grace gets glorified, his riches gets glorified. And I just said, let's mark a couple of those words to the praise and glory of him, to the glory, to his glorious riches, to his glorious plans, to the riches of his grace, to the glorious grace of his favor. And we saw these word selections, and I do believe they are deep, and we need to go sit on them and pray on them and really let it wash over our hearts. We saw how God is working and bringing about things, working in all things also, but we also see how God is bringing about things, how God's it's working. He works according to the purpose of the one who works out everything in agreement with a decision of his will. Chapter 2, Paul is focusing a little bit on the old self. He's going on, he's changing a bit of gears in what God has came and did for us, God's rich mercy. And then he touches a little bit on the peace, how God brings peace. We see right in the beginning, grace to you and peace from God the Father, the Lord Jesus Christ. This letter is full of grace. This letter is full of peace. But let's go. Chapter 2. Paul speaks about the old self, and in verse 3 he goes on, we too all previously lived among them in our fleshly desires, crying out the inclinations of our flesh and thoughts, and we are by nature children under wrath, as the others were also. By nature we are children under wrath. We also lived like that. But now, because what Christ did, we saw that in chapter 1. Now, because of what Christ did, but God, who is rich in mercy, because of his great love that he has for us, made us alive with the Messiah, even though we were dead in our trespasses, even though we did not deserve it, even though we lived and carried out the inclinations of the flesh, even though we are children under the wrath. God has rose us up and made us alive with the Messiah. You are now saved by grace. You are now saved by grace, unmerited favor, unmerited grace, unmerited favor, something you did not earn. Together with Christ, you also raised up and seated us in heaven, so that in the coming ages he might display his immeasurable riches of grace through his kindness to us in Jesus Christ. And now we're going to get to the crux. We're going to get to the foundation of what Paul comes and says. This was happened here. You lived one way. Now because of God's mercy, you are here. For you are saved by grace through faith. And we love that. You are saved by grace through faith. And we almost stop there. But the second part is so important. You are saved by grace through faith. And this is not from yourself. It's a gift from God. People, let that sink in. God's mercy, God's grace. You are saved by grace through faith. But remember, it is not from yourself. The fact that you are saved by grace is not from yourself. It's a gift bestowed, it's a gift from God. Reason why? Not from works so that you can boast. It's grace. So if it means I can do something to get this, it's not grace. Not from works. You're not chosen. You are not adopted. You are not brought into this family because of works. It's by grace through faith, and it's a gift from God. Not by works so that you can boast, but for we are His creation. We are God's creation, His children, created by Jesus Christ for good works, which God prepared ahead of time so that we may walk in them. People, can we just really sit and listen to this? God, you are so merciful. We have all fallen short of the glory of God. You are so merciful, and I'm so thankful. That's why Paul is so full of praises and thankful and has so much gratitude towards God, because even the fact that I'm saved by grace through faith is not of any works I'm doing, but it's a gift of God. And it's a gift of God because God, the Creator, has created me for good works, for things that He's prepared ahead of time for me so that I may walk in them. People, may this resonate in our hearts, may it wash over, may it fill us, our thoughts. There's not going to be enough time to go into what God comes and do and how He brings about peace and what He does to reconcile those who are far and those who are near. He reconciles us to God and to one another, and He keeps working in us. But let Ephesians 2 from verse 8 to verse 10, let that words just wash, and may it fill our hearts with thankfulness and gratitude and praises to God. Why did He do that? He made known to us this mystery of His will, according to the good pleasure that He has planned in us, according to the one who works out everything in agreement with His will, according to the praise of His glorious grace that He has favored us with in the beloved. Guys, may this comfort you, may this give you peace, may this give you grace, and may it be with you. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.